Hi there, it's Lori, and I'm here to start this yarn management story with a story that's not my own, but just happened to my daughter on Friday the 13th, because that's so funny. Anyway, here's what happened. She went to Dutch Bros, which is a coffee place, coffee chain like Starbucks, but much smaller, and they have teas. They have all the teas. That's why I like it. They don't spill the tea, but you can only ask so much from a corporation. Just kidding. Anyway, well, not just kidding on that. Anyway, all right. So I like Dutch Bros. We all go to Dutch Bros periodically. That's the whole name. Like it's not Dutch Brothers, it's Dutch Bros. All right. So she goes and she had a little bit of cash. I can't remember the story of why she had some cash, but she had some cash to pay with. So she she told the lady, pay with cash. She handed the lady cash. But my daughter had it folded up because sometimes we do that, right, to keep it in our wallets. Hands her the cash. The lady puts it on the scanner like you would a card. And then the lady and my daughter just look at each other and start laughing because it was just such an automatic behavior. And she laughed and she goes, "This is cash, isn't it?" And it was just funny. It sounds like something I would do. Anyway, yarn management. I wanted to show you with all the different bougie yarns I've gotten recently. They're all in here with the lavender that I got from Camille's Creations when she sent some yarn. Hers is in here somewhere. Hers is right there. And then a sachet of lavender from Erin. Oh my goodness, my brain is not functional. That's why I'm filming this now and not after my live. So all of this yarn has superwash material, but the yarn that's in here, this purple yarn, has made the whole bag smell like Mama G Gear yarn. Again, if you don't follow Mama G Gear, please get over there and do it. You only have a couple more days to do it, and then you get an entry. Michelle, my neighbor, if you watch this, please go subscribe. Comment on a fairly recent video that you have time to watch, and say I'm new. Subscribe and mention that I sent you. But other people, please, if you don't know her, go check her out. With that, that's my biggest yarn management. Most of my other yarn management is scrap nonsense. The loopy yarn's been put with the other loopy yarn, from my Mary Maxim surprise pack. All that scrubby yarn that I use to make kitchen scrubbies has been put in one bag together. So things are pretty organized. I just wanted to show you, I have all the super nice yarn in that bag. And then if it has wool, if it just says wool and not necessarily super wash wool, it's in this bag. But there is some superwash Barocco in there, so that I actually have a plan for. But anyway, so those bags will go back on the bookshelves. But that's where we're at right now with yarn management. Like I said, most of my disaster is scraps at this point. I've been using scraps to make the Spongebob. I have some amazing whips, which I left over on the other side of the room. Hold, please. Okay, in this bag, I had this bag, which has my shamrock bookmarks in it. I have yarn I have chosen for Gary the Snail, which I need to change one of them, or maybe even two of them. Some of them are scraps, some of them are skeins. Spongebob is almost entirely scraps, which is it. I'm using bags from Erin. Here's a bag from Erin with Spongebob parts. Let me tell you why I went to what I'm doing instead of just doing an amigurumi. So there's his body, not particularly exciting, but you can tell it's him. I just finished both his legs. That's upside down, sorry. I left these so that I could sew it onto the, I'll show you in a minute, part. Now I made up this pattern, not the Spongebob pattern to be clear, but I had to take everything she did and make it flat. His body was already flat. That's why I could do that panel. Did her eyes, well, whatever. I'm trying to find the newest thing, the thing I actually had to create. Okay, here's his arms. I had to redo one of the arms because I don't know what hook I used. So I had to go back and redo the arm because I don't know what hook I used and I couldn't find the size it said on the pattern, but both his arms are done. Both his legs are done. I'm trying to find the part. There it is. And that will be his shoe. So because it's going to be flat and sewn, where's one of his legs? So all of his parts, completed parts, go in this bag. So his shoe will get sewn on like that. And the reason I had to do that, again, was because I couldn't make it amigurumi. And her shoe was three-dimensional, and his shoe's not shaped like that, but the front of his shoe is shaped like that. So I checked with my husband, does this look right? Yes, he said that looks good. And he doesn't just say what I want to hear. He'll tell me, no, that doesn't look right. So it looks good, and I'm happy with the way it looks. So there you go. So that's almost all scraps. So I'm going to, when I finish him, I'm going to have all of these scraps to deal with. And then he's going to get sewn on here. He's going to get sewn on here. This is his pineapple house. You can kind of see it taking shape. He's going to get sewn on the door. I had to get his legs so I could figure out, because I want his feet at the very bottom here. I'm going to move this camera down a little bit. I'm going to put his feet here at the bottom, and then he'll be in the doorway. Then hopefully it will be at about center, and I'll put Gary the snail on his head. If you know SpongeBob, you know why I'm doing it that way. And that will be an amigurumi part. So I have a lot to do by Friday. I have a little bit of stress about that, or a lot bit, either one. Then here's another Arity bag. I have started. I was having some startitis, but I will finish all this stuff, so don't you worry. Where is it? Where's the actual project? I have started this for, what is going on? Oh, it's on the heart. I had a little version of the center pole heart. And the project was, this is for Armchair Chef Lori's birthday. It will be a small bag. It's 14 inches across, I think. I'm using a very large hook, so it will be very stretchy. Anyway, and I'm using, so that's the sand, the beachy colors. Remember, it's like a tropical vacation theme. So there's the other yarn I'm using. And there's the big hook I mentioned, big Tunisian. And I put a long cable on it, because then I didn't have to worry about a stopper. Everything's getting hooked on everything. Trying to keep those ball bands in there. Anyway, so that's something you could win during Chef Lori's birthday celebration. And then SpongeBob, you cannot. That's something special for someone. And yeah. Oh, the Norwegian hat. She has purchased it, and she because we got about 5 to 6 inches of snow today, and by Friday it's going to be 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Colorado psychotic with its weather. But Marley Bird. So Marley Bird's doing a crochet along. Number 1, you have to use solid yarn. Okay, I don't have a ton of solids. I have a decent amount of solids in 4-weight yarn, but almost none in DK. I finally found, because they had sets of color schemes, and I'm like, okay. So I ended up having to buy from Premier. Camille, I'm sorry, I don't remember if I used your link or not. I'm so sorry, I don't remember. Anyway, I had to buy yarn. I had to buy yarn for that, and that kind of chapped my hide a little bit. But that's okay. Just because I don't have solids. I have some great striping DK. I have some great hand-dyed CK. CK? Let's try that again. DK. Lightweight 3, or, oh my gosh, the German ladies told me on Saturday in my crochet club. What's 3? Lightweight 3 is, did they tell me it was 6-ply? I don't remember. Anyway, so finally, I could not find the 4th color of any one of those color schemes, either in my stash or in the Premier Basic DK. It was very frustrating. Finally, I come home, I'm like, okay, if I can find this particular yarn, because I'm like, I think it's close to the right color. If this particular yarn is a DK, I'll go ahead and purchase the yarn and get it. So yes, I purchased the yarn. Means I'm going to start late, which is going to bother me too, but whatever. I mean, I didn't even have 4 weights that were going to work. The whole thing was frustrating, and at least 6 times I said, I'm just not going to do this. I'm just not going to do this. Hopefully I don't regret my choice to try to do this. We'll see. I as challenging as the triangles are with Ladybird Loves, I'm glad I'm continuing to do it. And she didn't say you have to use solids. She recommended using solids, and thankfully the variegateds that I'm using worked out. Okay, with all of that, I think you have a lot to look forward to seeing, right? Thanks for coming in. Can I get an amen? Hugs from Mima Potato Head. And virtual hugs from me. Whatever kind of hug you need. Thanks for coming in. Oh, I already said that. Hope to see you again. Bye.